This week we watched a movie where you find out what would really happen if a teenager got superpowers. We watched Chronicle, and this is Geeked Out.
Popcorn in our hands, ready for the show. From the classics to the blockbusters, we're always in the know. Throwing references like confetti, we keep it real. Geeked Out Podcast, we make you feel. We're the critics you can trust.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Geeked Out. My name is Kyle.
And I'm Juan, or better known by the ladies as the Timu version of Michael B. Jordan. No, I'm just playing. Nobody's actually ever told me that.
You keep telling yourself that, buddy. But as you heard in our opening, this week we are discussing the movie Chronicle to end out our back to school month. This movie was suggested by Juan.
Yes.
It was originally released February 3rd of 2012. It had a budget of $12 million, which went on to make a worldwide box office haul of $126.6 million. It currently sits at 7 out of 10 on IMDb, with a critic score on Rotten Tomatoes of 85% and 72% from the audience. Now, before we get into the director and the actors and whatnot, I had never seen this movie. So you obviously suggested this. So what made you suggest this movie? Have obviously you've seen it before. Is this something you've seen multiple times? Was it a theater thing?
It's definitely a theater thing. This came out in 2012, so I definitely, when it comes to the latest movies, especially superhero movies, I've always known of all the upcoming productions, and because I always, I always keep my ear to the ground when it comes to those things. And yeah, I knew this movie was being made, and but what really hooked me was the trailer, or at least the marketing for the movie, because they leaned into the like a mystery of what was happening with you knew it was something going on with superhero-ness, but you just didn't know for sure because they wrapped the marketing around a mystery, what was happening. And I was really, really interested from the get-go. So as soon as the movie was out in theaters, I'm pretty sure this was a day one for me.
So I'm assuming that from day one that you saw it, you've been a fan of this movie.
Oh yeah.
Okay, I'm not.
No?
No.
Oh. Wow.
Now, I will say I loved the idea. I loved the kind of the way the plot was outlined. I really can't stand the home video found footage genre.
Okay.
So right off the bat, I didn't enjoy even looking at this movie. I
Okay. There's no found footage movie that you actually
no, I
like?
hate the style.
Mm, really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
I mean, it wouldn't bother me if I watched a movie and they had bits and pieces filmed that way, but to do the entire movie, it's just not for me. And actually, it made me feel like the movie almost dragged. I felt, and also the way that they do the footage in this movie with so many quick cuts and edits and different effects, I guess, on the as if the camera's shorting out, all those types of things that we'll get to when they get to the cave. It was almost giving me a headache. Overall, I think, like I said, I think the idea of the movie, the plot of the movie were really good, really interesting. I just think that they missed the mark on a lot of different aspects. This is just for me. This is my opinion.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, there were a lot of things for me that missed the mark with this film.
Okay, that's fine. I'm really connected to these superhero genre, and yeah, I'm when it comes to found footage, it works for me. The that gimmick. I guess it doesn't work for everyone, but for me it works. And for this, it worked for me in this movie. Um, Especially because I've seen the superhero thing done in almost every format. Um, live action movies, TV shows, animated movies, cartoons, all that stuff. Um, so it was refreshing seeing it this way because I haven't, I've never seen those two, I guess, subgenres of movies being matched together, found footage and superhero. So, yeah, I found it refreshing, and to me, especially when Andrew, whenever, because he was just documenting his life and stuff. I think like when those parts, it worked most for me. Um, but I could see where you're coming from with it not working in certain moments outside of that. Um, but when we are in those moments with Matt or Andrew, sorry, um, it to me it added a bit of authenticity and realness for me, and yeah, I like it. Definitely the found footage in that particular way. It worked. It worked for me personally.
Now, I think the found footage aspect of this movie could have worked. Like I said, if it was just bits and parts. Like for example, when at the very beginning, you obviously see just through a closed door that his father is very verbally and quite possibly physically abusive to Andrew. And
Oh yeah, definitely,
when he's
definitely
banging
shown.
on the door and telling him to open it, and then all of a sudden Andrew says, "I'm filming this," and the banging stops. As if to say, like, I'm documenting what you're doing to me so that I
Yeah.
can show others. Had it only been used for that part of the story, I think it would have worked a lot better. And then even like just to show like almost like him filming what they can do, but the fact that it was literally the entire movie is filmed like that, it really didn't work in my opinion, at least for me.
Hmm.
And also like I'm not I'm not trying to put the movie down, but like I don't personally consider this movie a quote unquote superhero movie. I would consider it a superpower type movie because they're not heroes. None of them are.
No, but anybody with powers. I guess you would throw it into the superhero genre, right? It's like it's just a name for it, as just a name holder placeholder for a person with powers.
No,
But
I,
if you
I
want, you could do it like a supernatural thriller, or you could put it in that bit too,
yeah, that would
or
make more.
sci-fi science fiction thriller, because it clearly the origins of their powers is alien. Um, but for me, technically, you could put it in a couple of genres.
Oh, it would definitely fit into several genres. It just, I guess for me, when I think superhero, you think of exactly that, like a hero, someone who's
The hero.
helping others. And there's really only one instance in this movie where that happens, and the only reason it happens is because Andrew causes the issue where they like where someone's hurt, where they need to be the one to save that person.
Hmm.
Now,
Yeah, it's more like the whole movie was like an origin for you know for all these these characters. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the movie, you could tell where a certain character is headed,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
his dialogue throughout the movie after he acquires his powers were to lend you to believe that down the line he will be that type of character, or like a traditional hero.
Well, with that being said, why don't we'll get into it a little bit more. So, this movie was directed by Josh Trank. It stars Dane DeHaan, Michael B. Jordan, Alex Russell, and Michael Kelly. The plot of the movie is three high school friends gain superpowers after making an incredible discovery underground. Soon they soon they find their lives spinning out of control, and their bond is tested as they embrace their darker sides. So as we said, the beginning as of any movie opens up and you get to meet these characters. Andrew clearly lives in a very, I don't want to use the word unstable, but not a good home life that he has. His father is clearly abusive. You then find out that his mother is very sick, quite possibly dying. So right there, that and Andrew is played by Dane DeHaan. So that's how we meet him. Matt, who is kind of the second or the first supporting character, however you want to say it, he is Andrew's cousin, who apparently is like his chauffeur as well. It's kind of like, apparently they're supposed to be they must have to be the same age because they keep referencing that Andrew's a senior. But I'm guessing Matt's always kind of been a little bit more mature because it's almost like he's kind of taking Andrew under his wing to try and help him branch out, get him to meet people, and Andrew just wants none of that. He decides that he just wants to live his life by looking through a camera, hence how this movie is filmed.
Yeah, yeah. At that point, for sure, you could tell Matt, if he would have helped a little bit earlier in life, he probably would have needed a camera, and he would have turned out a little bit better. Um, this could have been a thing where it wasn't even his idea. Maybe he's being pushed by his parents to check in on his cousin and to do these things. We don't know, but it definitely seems like it's something he's being influenced to do.
Well,
Not,
that's another thing about this movie that I wasn't the biggest fan of. You get zero backstory from anything, like none of the characters, none of the phenomenons that happen. There's no real explanation given for anything. Um, and like even in the trailer, every trailer basically shows the three guys, Andrew, Matt, and Steve, who's Michael B. Jordan's character, all together at all times. So I'm thinking, okay, I didn't realize they were cousins, but I'm thinking, okay, these three guys have been friends since like grade school. They've known each other for years, this and that. Then I start the movie, and for lack of a better term, Andrew's kind of viewed as like the loser at his school. He's constantly bullied. He doesn't really have any friends except for Matt. And then you start seeing all these posters for vote for class president, and you see Michael B. Jordan's picture. And then by the time you get to the point where they meet each other, I was like, wait a minute, they're not even friends? Like, it just completely comes out of nowhere. I was really thrown when that happened because again, because of the trailers, I assumed these guys had a history together, not that they just kind of met halfway through the movie.
yeah. Well, yeah, yeah. I mean, they all kind of randomly link, and then they go and they find the alien thing, and I believe that after that, they were so close to each other is because whatever happened, whatever affected them, I think they all were connected to each other in some way. I can understand why after that they kind of were just hanging out with each other because they're all were just figuring out their powers, and they were linked at that moment when they entered that ship. I don't know what the fuck
I,
it was, a ship or something.
yeah, we'll get into that in a minute when we get there. But yeah, I think, and I guess maybe if I hadn't watched the trailer, it really wouldn't have bothered me as much. But I think just the way and that happens a lot if you watch any movie trailer, a lot of times they leave you with more questions than answers. But yeah, so you just brought up the alien ship, whatever they find. Matt drags Andrew to a party, which turns out to be a rave, and even I was looking at it going, yeah, he doesn't want to be there. He doesn't belong there. Like, he's even got his camera there and he's filming everything, and people are harassing him, going, "Oh, are you filming my girlfriend? Are you like?" Because I mean, I
Yeah, but that
can.
guy was coked out.
Oh, he was off his rocker. But
He was he was looking for a fight.
I can understand why they portrayed it that way. Like, because even the scene where he's eating lunch on the bleachers and you can see the cheerleaders practicing in the distance, and the one girl comes up and she's like, "Can you not film us? It's creepy." I could see that happening because from their perspective, the camera's pointing at them, whereas it's almost like he's just letting it sit there while he's eating before he picks it up and continues filming. I don't know why he wouldn't just turn it off, but he apparently wants to catch or capture everything.
Yeah, he's just documenting his life because that's, people do that. I don't know why people do that, but there are people that do shit like that. And yeah, it's just,
I can also understand how it would make some people feel uncomfortable. I mean, if I was walking down the street and I just saw a random person with a video camera, I'd be kind of going like, "What are you doing?" Like, I might not
yeah,
approach
yeah,
them the way that people do in this movie because
yeah.
they kind of do it in a very assholish way.
Oh yeah. But I think it's one of the contributing factors of his eventual, downfall.
Yeah,
And I really enjoy that aspect of the character because you literally could have taken the superhero parts out of it and just made this movie about a kid who was bullied, and life is not really good to him. He's got a terrible home life, and terrible school life, and yeah, you could literally this could literally be an allegory for like a school shooter or something. And
yeah, absolutely.
yeah, and but I really like that they took that approach, and the way they wrote it, and they put it on screen. I think was really well done, especially with the actor. I think he nailed it. He definitely nailed it. He definitely had that vibe of that creepy
Yes, he did.
potential psychopath.
So I mean, they're kind of few and far between, but one of the things that I did like about this movie is when Michael B. Jordan approaches. So when Steve approaches Andrew outside of the rave to say like, "Oh, your cousin wants you to come follow me with the camera." Obviously, Steve is very popular at the school,
Hmm.
but he still approaches. He still approaches Andrew like he's a normal person. Like, he's not coming up to him being like, "Hey, you fucking loser, you have to follow me right now," yada yada yada. Like, he comes up to him and you can hear, because obviously the camera's not pointing at him, but you can hear that Andrew's crying because he was borderline assaulted by the guy in the rave, and the first thing he says is like, "Are you okay?" Like that in most movies, Michael B. Jordan's character would continue and add on to the bullying, and I really did like that this movie they didn't have his character do that. It
No, he felt
he showed genuine compassion.
yeah, yeah. He was one of the, aside from some other characters, he felt the most like human, like actual person, like a real life person.
Yeah,
Uh, and yeah, I did appreciate it. I definitely appreciated that.
Matt on the other hand, I don't think like you said, Michael B. Jordan felt like he could be a real person like that.
Really?
Matt,
You didn't think Matt could?
this
I know some Matts. I
this
know, well, I knew some Matts.
philosophical, pretentious. Oh my God!
You could tell he's one of those guys that just like, yes, yeah. For me, I've known a couple Matts in my life, so
Every
personally, yes, I felt like there are some dudes like that
like
for sure.
he's constantly quoting different philosophers and
Yeah, yeah,
talking about his view of the world and yada yada yada, and
oh
even
yeah,
the scene where they end up going in the cave. Now this part I kind of blame the writing, but even to the point just to really hit it on the head, if you didn't know that he was a philosophy buff, whatever, he immediately, well, don't you know about Plato's cave allegory? And it's like, okay, just because you're in a cave does not mean you have to bring this up just to prove how smart or in insightful your character is, or a deep thinker, or that part of his character just kind of irked me, and I'm very glad I don't know people like this.
but he also was also he was called out on that, and he recognized of that about himself, and he was questioning it as well in little bits of dialogue throughout the movie. So, uh, as much as little character development that he had a little bit there, and but yeah, I I could see if you didn't know a character like that, how that would be annoying.
Well, I mean, we've talked about this cave, we've mentioned this alien artifact, whatever, so we might as well
Yep.
get to it. They find a hole, literally just a hole in the forest, and for some reason, these three teenagers think it's a good idea. Well, two of them think it's a good idea. Andrew just follows because he's kind
Yeah.
of goaded
Well,
into it.
yeah. This is the unrealistic part for sure. But it's like a movie. It's a movie. It's a movie
But
trope.
if
Movie
you if you
people
ever
do dumb shit like that.
okay, but if you ever came across in the middle of a forest just this hole in the ground, and it's not even it doesn't even look like a hole that somebody dug. It almost looks like, because right below the surface is just rocks. It's not. There's no dirt. There's no. It almost looks like it was bored with like a laser or something like that.
Mm.
If you come across that, whether you're by yourself with a group of people, are you going down that hole?
No, no. But there's lots of things in movies like I would not do. I wouldn't touch the crazy plant or alien thing that clearly is, if you touch it, something bad is going to happen. What fucking people do in stupid movies. There's so many movies like that. But I get it. 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 They
Now,
wouldn't. Realistically, they probably wouldn't.
well, they go in. So
It's a
they.
fucking hole, right?
Well,
you know where that leads.
it's a hole that apparently leads to this tunnel because they're in there, and one of them makes a comment that we've probably already gone 40 or 50 feet from where we entered, so let's just keep going. And they come across, I don't even know how to describe it, but it almost looks like a pulsating light coming from behind a group of rocks. But then when they get up close to it, you see that Michael B. Jordan touches it, and it's got like these clear glass like spikes with almost like tentacles moving around inside.
Yeah.
And somehow this, well, you don't even know what happens because the stupid fucking camera glitches out. But apparently,
Yeah.
this somehow gives them superpowers, and it's one of my bigger points of contention with this movie is you get zero explanation. Like, yeah, you're led to believe that it's probably some alien artifact or, like you said, some part of a ship or something like that. But I would think that if something like that happened to me, one of the first things I would want to do is figure out what the hell this thing is. But there's no investigation or even exposition to discuss what it could be.
Yeah. Well, because they don't know. They don't know. You know what I mean? They don't know. We don't know because basically we're following their, the camera run by them. So, yeah, I get it. They do try to go back, but they were turned around by sheriffs or whatever.
Yeah, they go back, but it almost looks like the hole's all like collapsed in on itself, and there's just nothing there anymore. And then they're like told that they have to leave by a local police officer.
There's other bunch of cops too, so I'm assuming the government caught wind of that, whatever happened, and they, you know what I mean?
See, and I think that's kind of another thing why the found footage kind of gets me is because if this were a movie made, I'm just going to use it because they're the gold standard, whether we like it or not, through the Marvel type lens with the way you're seeing everything in the third person. I'm wondering if you might have been able to find out even a little bit of backstory or a little bit of information about what it could be, because I was curious for the whole movie, but because these kids don't seem to worry about that, they're more concerned with what abilities they have. It's never brought up again, never discussed. But if we had a scene where it's showing the police or scientists coming in to examine it or something like that, it
Hmm.
because there is no evidence whether it's alien or it could be a government project or something like that.
Yeah, or both.
It's just very up in the air.
Sure.
And immediately after, like, the camera cuts out in the, I keep wanting to call it a mine, but it's not a mine, in the hole, it just shows them kind of practicing with what they can do. It's, you kind of lose, because one of my favorite parts in a superhero origin type movie is I love when they do, whether it be a montage or just a scene of when they kind of discover their powers. We don't really get that in this. We just get them. It's not so much discovering; it's more like they're just more trying to hone them. Yeah,
Yeah, they're testing the video recording. I'm testing up the powers.
and again, I'm going to bring up the trailer again. In the trailer, I thought it gave them different abilities between the three of them, because you get, so like in the trailer you see, and in the movie you see it too, when Andrew goes to stab his cousin with the fork and it bends. I thought that maybe, like, okay, his ability is he has like bulletproof impenetrable skin,
Okay.
and then it shows Michael B. Jordan moving the car with his mind. I'm like, okay, he has telekinesis. Well, it turns out all three of them have the same ability, and that's just the fact that they have telekinesis. And they can move and manipulate things with their minds. Apparently, they can move themselves, too. I don't think I've ever seen that take on telekinetic ability of making yourself fly.
Is there anybody off the top of my head that can do that? Not off the top of my head.
I actually kind of thought that was kind of cool
Technically
though.
could. Yeah, the creativity with that powers was pretty good. I really liked the
Because
way it did it.
Because I mean, most movies or any movie where, especially if it's a kid or a teenager who has telekinetic abilities, they they move things or they manipulate things with their mind. The only movie that I can think of off the top of my head, and it's not even so much to fly, it's she just causes herself to float, is Matilda.
She made other people fly.
Yeah, I guess I wouldn't really necessarily consider that flying in the way that these guys are flying, but yeah, I think that would be the closest that I could think of that I've seen in a movie is that. And that literally just dawned on me right now as I was thinking about it. But it does show the dangers because as they're up there screwing around, they almost end up in a head-on collision with a fucking plane. Yeah, that was. But again, that's the thing is a lot of this movie once they have their powers is just them screwing around.
Yeah, them discovering it.
I mean, of course, you have the obligatory because they're teenagers in high school using the leaf blower to blow up girls' skirts.
Yeah, and fucking with people at stores and shit.
Screw
Stuff you
yeah,
shouldn't be doing.
moving
Gotta be doing that.
the parked car.
Yeah, move people's carts and shit, and scaring little girls with teddy bears and shit. I'll be doing all that. I'll definitely do all that.
Oh, I'm sure most people would do stuff like that. The one I did like how, so obviously as we've discussed, Andrew is this. He's constantly put down at home. He doesn't really have many friends, and now all of a sudden he has these two, one cousin, one friend, and they're kind of like bonded together for I guess for life because they've gone through this thing and they share these abilities. I did like that the talent show scene
Yeah,
when Steve tells him like it's your senior year, you should really do the talent show with me, and he's doing it because he cares about him as a friend and he wants to see him kind of put himself out there and actually I guess try and let everybody else see he's not just a loser type thing. And of course, I'm sitting there going, they're not gonna like. It's not like they're gonna fly around on the stage. But what they do is they do a magic act, which I actually thought was kind of cool.
yeah, it was cool. Yeah, it was. Yeah, I enjoyed it, and a good use of the found footage in that way because you're looking at it through the person of the audience, and you know what's happening,
But they don't.
but they don't. But it's still kind of cool seeing it in that perspective.
And I mean, it clearly it works because immediately, I think it's right after the talent show. It shows Matt and Andrew show up to this house party, and Steve right away is like, "All right, man of the hour, Andrew, you're gonna come. You're gonna hang out with all the cool people. You're gonna kind of ingratiate yourself and let all these people see how cool you actually are and whatnot." And he helps him. Well, I guess he doesn't help him. He just kind of he meets a girl and he starts drinking for the first time because earlier in the movie he said he doesn't drink, and that
Yeah,
kind of backfires big time.
yeah. I can't catch a break. But again, it's just another contributing factor. These little brick by brick, you're starting to see, and it sucks because he was built up. It was his moment,
Well, and
happiest he's ever felt,
this is where it
and
all
yeah.
starts to come crashing down.
Oh yeah.
Now, I mean,
But there was little hints throughout, like of him being unhinged. I think before this, there was the whole Jeep. Was it a Jeep or accident that he caused? and he kind of didn't feel bad about that. Yeah, that's kind of a red flag.
Yeah,
One of the first red flags.
that was something real interesting. They like literally, yeah, I get. We've all been there when you get an asshole tailgating you in your car, and I've never had somebody tailgate me and then just constantly lay on the horn like this guy was. But
Ugh.
that doesn't mean that you turn around and I don't know if he meant to do what he did or just kind of maybe like
No, yeah.
I
I
don't
don't think he meant to do that. I think he just meant to like push it a little bit so he
maybe like hit the
just
guardrail and have to
stall
stop.
out.
But no,
Yeah.
he goes right through down like this embankment, and
He got
by the time they get down there, this guy's truck or
he
jeep,
got
whatever,
fucked up.
this thing is upside down in a pond,
And
and
how did it end up like that? It didn't seem like it was going that fast.
no, it
Did he
didn't.
fucking slip it again?
It yeah, it was upside down, facing the wrong way. I don't know what
And the
happened.
guy was fucking, he was fucked up.
Well, they so Steve and Matt basically have to drag him out of the water because they're screaming at Andrew like, "Stay there, don't move." Like we don't, I don't, and they're
They're
also kind of
panicking.
well, they are panicking, but they're also kind of berating him at the same time. Like, why
Yeah,
would you do
exactly.
that? But yeah, when they pull him out, you see that he's got like blood coming out of his mouth. He's got gashes on his arms.
I couldn't believe how fucked up he was. I was like, good lord.
Plus, he's half drowned.
I was like, yeah, that was rough. I mean, I don't like shitty drivers, but they don't deserve that
Ain't
shit.
nobody
Damn.
deserve that.
No, and in the city that I live in, oof, it's full of asshole drivers.
Yes, it is.
But no, no one deserves that at all.
No, and then like you say, that's just another one of the building blocks, and it kind of shows you where his character's going. And this is where it kind of comes to a head. Like he goes up to a room with this girl, and number one, why Steve is taking it upon himself to go up there with a video camera to possibly break in on the two of them having sex. Number one, like that's friend or no friend, that's crossing a line, in my opinion. But
Wasn't he? He was drunk, right? He was drunk, but still, I get what you're saying.
but before he even gets there, the girl who actually, um, I read this in the trivia. I cannot remember the actress's name. I'm going to see if I can find it here real quick. The girl who plays the girl with the pink hair is Anna Wood. She, at the time, was Dane DeHaan's girlfriend and is now his wife in real
Mm.
life. But she comes out of the room screaming, and she's got vomit in her hair and down her top. And clearly, he had too much to drink. It wasn't a good thing. But Steve goes in to confront him, and he's not going in there like making fun of him. He's legit saying like, "Are you okay?" And Andrew just like loses it on him, like just starts yelling and screaming, and this is your fault, and before this ever happened, you didn't know who I was, and you didn't give a shit, and like it's clearly very undeserved by Steve. But like you
Yeah,
say,
but
it's just everything. It seems like everything's just coming to a head for Andrew at this point.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. Um, yeah, he's definitely it's just one of those things when, when your points it definitely points to him being abused by his father. Especially outbursts like that, it definitely is a big sign of that was what happening
Well, it's almost like
at his home,
he's
especially with his father, because his father is very, very verbal, abusive, and yeah,
it. It
that's
mirrors
what
his
he ends.
father.
Exactly.
Because he's now doing to Steve and eventually Matt what his dad does to him.
Hmm.
I mean, he goes a little farther with Steve in the next scene, which this was a sad one because I'm a big fan of Michael B. Jordan. Now, this didn't really this I had a lot of questions with too because this is the first time that I noticed it, but you do notice it as the movie progresses past this point because Andrew is literally just up above the clouds flying, kind of hovering. It's almost like that's his safe space where he can just go and think and reflect on his own personal thoughts. And all of a sudden Steve shows up and even Andrew says like, "How did you know where I was?" And I don't know if you caught it, but Steve says my nose was bleeding or my nose started bleeding and I just knew Andrew's in trouble or I had to go find Andrew.
Yeah.
So it's almost like they're somehow like connected to one another, but they don't really again, they don't go into it enough to explain or to even confirm or deny that.
No, I guess with the writing they let the breadcrumbs
Because again, how the
from
hell would he
people's
know where he was if they weren't somehow connected?
exactly. And I picked up on that even beforehand. I
See,
had
I
a
did
feeling
not.
that they were connected in some way, especially with the nosebleeds, especially yeah, um, towards
I
the end there too.
I kind of attributed them having nosebleeds as just like in a lot of movies that deal with telekinetic powers. A lot of times when they use them, and
Overdo it.
yeah, it's almost like when you use a muscle too much, you get that soreness. That it's almost like when they use their brain with their telekinetic powers. It's almost like the nosebleed is a reaction the same way a soreness of a muscle would be, but instead of just showing that their head hurts, they show a physical reaction to it.
Isn't the chick from Stranger Things does her nose bleed?
Yeah, yeah. 11 does that,
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
I'm sure I've seen
Um,
it in many other things. There's just nothing's coming to mind right now.
yeah, I watch. It's not telekinetic, but I'm watching season 2 of Gen V, and there's a girl, Kate. She
That's
she
the
has like
blood. That's the
mind
blood
powers.
powers, right?
No, that's Marie. Kate is the one that has mental powers, but if she uses them too much, her eyes start to like get bloodshot and start to like
Okay,
nose bleed.
dude, I'm so far behind on the boys and Gen V. It's not even funny.
Gen V season 2 is great. It's good,
I
man.
have to
The
catch up on the
whole
boy.
mystery thing.
I have to catch up on the
It's awesome.
boys because I also know they're doing a spin off of Soldier Boy, and I'm a huge fan of Jensen Ackles from his time on Supernatural. So there's
I'd say,
a lot of that
yeah,
stuff I got to watch.
with the season 4 of The Boys
Dude, I
might
haven't
be
watched
the
season 3.
oh,
At least not
the
all of it.
season 3 was good. Season 4 is one of those things where like you could probably do a recap on YouTube. If you
Oh
find-
god.
it's good. No, it's not. It's just not as strong as the other seasons. It's still good though.
Well, I'll have to check it out, but yeah, so Steve confronts as we're getting back to this movie, Steve confronts Andrew in the air and it's the middle of a thunderstorm. And they have a real verbal confrontation and next thing you know there's a lightning strike, cut to black and now we're at a funeral.
Yeah.
And I know it was I was kind of just shocked. I was so shocked in this moment. I didn't really know what happened, and I just put, "Did Andrew cause this?"
I think he definitely influenced it. I don't think he even knew what was going on. He said he lost control or something, but you could tell they're the longer they were talking, the more the storm was brewing. So it definitely
Yeah,
was connecting. It was definitely connected to each other. But I think in a way that he didn't even know what was going on. Like, but yeah.
yeah, that was wild. So obviously, like, I didn't expect I didn't expect the movie to kind of take this type of a turn, and I certainly didn't expect Michael B. Jordan to die.
Yeah, well, he had to train for Creed, so
Yeah,
yeah, and Killmonger and
I was gonna
all that
say, and
stuff.
Killmonger.
So you had to be out of there, you had to start early.
But what I mean, Matt confronts him like, "Did you do this?" Like right afterwards, and Andrew again is just not having any part of it. He just flies away like, I don't need to talk to you. I don't like just really kind of escaping back into his own rabbit hole and just kind of going and being on his own again. But then he 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 was this hugely popular figure after the talent show. Then he has the incident at the party where he throws up on the girl. All of a sudden, he goes back to school and he's being bullied again, like it was the beginning of the movie. Like it flipped that quickly.
I don't think he was being bullied by that one kid. So that one kid that bullied him isn't going to all of a sudden be his friend because of the magic show. It's just everyone was making fun of him
For the
that he was
throwing up.
passing by for throwing up. So I don't think they were just because of that. But no, he didn't get any praise for the talent show or whatever. But it's high school. If you do something embarrassing like that, it's gonna spread throughout the school, then they're gonna forget the good thing you did.
Yeah, I guess
All they
that's
really
true.
remember.
It's been a while
That's just
since I've
it's
been
just high
there.
school kid shit, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Uh yeah.
and this kid gets it. Like this was, I mean, this was shocking.
Oh, the bully?
Fucking rips the kid's teeth out.
Yeah.
I was like,
That was
oh
disturbing.
my god.
I thought he was gonna throw him against a locker or some shit.
Yeah, I didn't know. I didn't know
All
what.
right.
So I really didn't think he was gonna do that. Like, kind of show his abilities that way. So I didn't know what he was gonna do. But yeah, had he done anything, I would have expected him to kind of push him or like push him down the stairs or like you say into a locker. I did not expect him to yank teeth out of this kid's mouth, and then it shows him in the fucking bathroom, blood all over his hands, like he's playing with them.
Yeah, almost. Yeah, like he's breaking down
Like he,
techniques in the ball. Which again, if they would have done a thing where they would have kept it within the school and there were more supporting characters of like the kids and they were showing more of him being bullied and it would have ended with like almost like a school shooter situation but with him with powers. I think that would have made the movie a hell of a lot better and more
I agree,
remembered.
contain the story as opposed to.
And you still could have used that found footage in that way. But yeah, um, I think they missed an opportunity there.
Yeah, because then you go. I mean, you go from that behavior right alone is like serial killer.
That's like a serial killer or like a school shooter practicing shooting target. You know what I mean? Like it had that same vibe.
It's the build up to it, yeah.
Yeah,
But the next one is the spider.
yeah.
Like he. So to put
I
this
mean,
into like into describe it, he levitates a spider, pulls it so its legs are taut, and then just in one motion kind of all eight legs pop off, the head pops off the body. Like again, I know it's an insect. It's a little not an insect, but it's a bug, and it's not like he's
and
doing
we've
it to
all
a human,
done
but
shit. We've all done shit like that as a kid.
not to
We've all
that
killed.
level.
No, not to that level, but
Good God.
exactly. But when you see that, it makes you think of all the times you personally did that to a bug, and you just like, God damn,
Well, because then he starts
that was really
going.
fucked up.
Then he starts kind of going into a speech of like
Apex predator.
he's an apex, like he's superior to every other human being on the planet because he has these abilities, and he starts talking about
Power.
it is absolutely its power, and he's talking about
Corrupting him.
the apex predator, and he's like, human beings, we're not concerned when we swat a fly, or like he did in the scene before, kill a bug or anything like that, because we view ourselves as above them. Now, obviously, that's showing that how much he views himself above every other human.
Hmm. It's a very realistic way of thinking if you just gave a random kid or person superpowers, especially a kid who's been bullied and beat down by life and the people around him.
Yeah, I will say it does. The movie does give him a realistic build to what he eventually becomes,
Yeah, he
and
just fucking
I mean, there are parts of it that are very uncomfortable to watch.
yeah, because it definitely felt real, especially with the act. The best thing about this movie is the acting, especially or the performances. And yeah, Dane DeHaan, he uh, he is definitely the standout of this movie because everything involving him just felt so real and relatable in the sense that it definitely mirrors things that are still happening today with certain people who resemble that character of Andrew.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean, when he decides to take his powers, and because his father is on disability, he doesn't make any money. He's not making enough money. His mom's sick. They can't afford her medication. He decides. His father was a firefighter, so he decides to take his dad's
Which was so
old
weird.
firefighting gear, which I don't know why he still has that at the house. I'm pretty sure that stays at the fire hall, but I could be wrong.
He could have just kept it, just whatever. Like, he's probably not supposed to have it, but he has it anyways. My thing is, why don't you just wear a mask,
Yeah,
bro?
put a
Why do you have
ski
to
mask
wear?
on like every
You're
other
basically
robber.
bulletproof. You don't need those things. Like, you're trying to mask your identity, which your identity gets called out 2 seconds into fucking
Immediately.
immediately. Just wear a mask, bro. I don't understand why you could have just wore a mask.
But that
Like,
part I
and that
actually
could have been
laughed at.
like the superhero. That would have been like the superhero thing, but or a supervillain thing. It's like a supervillain
Yeah.
origin, if anything.
That part I laughed at because the neighborhood
Yeah,
douchebags, as he calls them, they're immediately like, "Well, you sound like Andrew. You've got Andrew's shitty backpack." It's like,
of course
what,
they're
you're
immediately gonna
accomplishing
know.
nothing.
Yeah, I get it would have worked at a store, but not
No, it
a
didn't.
fucking. Well, I mean hiding your identity.
Oh yeah,
Um, but it doesn't work when you're trying to hide your identity to the people that are constantly 10 feet away from you.
yeah. And then he chooses to rob the worst gas station that he could possibly
I was like, rob
choose.
a bank, motherfucker, rob a money truck.
But what I didn't understand about this, so obviously he goes in, uses his abilities, knocks the clerk out, takes the money,
All of
and
$80.
yeah, how much are you really getting? But when he leaves, the clerk jumps over the counter with a shotgun or rifle, whatever it
Yeah,
is.
everything on them.
He goes outside and calls to Andrew, like, "What are you doing?" Andrew turns around. I immediately thought, like, just fly away. Like, if he would have just taken off and flew, I think the guy would have been
He would have been, yeah, he would
so
he would have been
flabbergasted
shocked.
and in shock that he wouldn't know what to do. But because he tried to use his powers to pull the gun, it goes off and explodes a propane tank. Again, I was kind of shocked by this because it's something you really don't expect because you think, yeah, he's going to get away with it, and then something bigger is going to have to happen to get him caught. But nope, you get security footage of him just burning on the ground.
Yeah. I guess he was just so nervous that he didn't realize
It could have been.
he wasn't thinking straight and split second, decisions and ended up burning on the motherfucking ground.
Yeah, and
Which I think they kind of needed to do that because this movie's only 90 minutes.
that blew me
So like
away.
it I feel like this movie trimmed a shit ton of fat that should have been put on this thing
Oh, you mean like
to,
the
to
exposition
flesh
that
it.
I'm craving?
I mean, I mean, I guess not every movie needs all that exposition. You could, I like a little mystery and you know things that, or it depends. If the writing's good, you don't really need that much exposition. You can you can do all that within the context of telling the story. But yeah, I just felt like it needed us a little more fat, at least when it
Well,
comes to other characters and just other things. But yeah, I
like
just felt
Matt,
like
like Matt who abandons him for I don't know.
Matt,
I don't know
the
who this
fact
girl
that
is because they
Michael
never
B. Jordan,
give.
yeah, like I would have liked just yeah, just more supporting characters that that would help flesh out the overall story.
Yeah, because again, so Steve's dead. Michael B. Jordan's character's dead. All you've got left for Andrew is Matt, who's abandoned him to go with. I don't know who this girl is. Is it an ex girlfriend of his? Is it someone that they grew up with? Because all of a
hmm
sudden, apparently, her and Matt are now dating.
hmm
I,
They like
sure.
it's in the beginning of the movie. It's sprinkled throughout the movie. If you're not like,
Oh yeah, you definitely see her, but like again, I don't know who she is. What kind of history does she have with these people? Because when you first see her and Matt interact, she kind of looks at him like almost like she views him as scum. Like she really doesn't like him. And then by the 1 hour mark, he's filming like he's taking her camera from her to film her naked, like as a prank. And I'm like, how did this happen?
oh yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You don't know how much time has passed.
Exactly.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, yeah.
Because then once you see Andrew in the, I almost said the hotel. He's definitely not in a hotel. In the hospital, in this coma that he's in, and his dad comes in, and his dad is crying, and I was like, oh my god, his father actually does care about him. And then it's like, nope, you find out that his mother died, and he's upset because he wasn't there because he was looking for Andrew, and he blames everything on Andrew. And I'm like, well, I guess we're not redeeming this character whatsoever.
No, he's got to be top five, top 10 fucking worst father in movie history. This guy is terrible, man. Guy has no redeeming qualities
And
at
and this
all.
guy is played by Michael Kelly, who I'm a big fan of.
CSI New York?
Oh yeah, he's very much a that guy. Like he was in Dawn of the Dead. He's been in House of Cards. He was in Now You See Me. Like he was fucking anybody who's seen the new Superman movie and you know who Steve Lombard is. He played Steve Lombard in Man of Steel.
I
Like
know he was in CSI New York,
yeah,
and that's all I know him from. I know I've seen him in other things, but that's all I see him, man. He's the fucking New York. Because everybody in CSI New York was super New York, including him.
I mean I've everything I've seen him in, I've enjoyed him in. I didn't like his character in this, but he did portray it very well.
it was yeah, his acting was good, even though the character itself was it was laid on real thick.
Oh yeah.
Super movie trope, terrible abusive father, but those type of fathers exist in the world, unfortunately, and the performance was good.
I mean, yeah, he was exactly what he needed to be. As the kids say nowadays, he understood the assignment.
Yeah, the
Um,
assignment was how to make a supervillain.
well, and he sure. I mean, if it wasn't for his nephew, he sure gets what's coming to him because he goes to. I mean, hating or being upset with his child to the point where he's going to assault him while he's in a coma, that's a whole new level.
Hmm.
And the fact that he must not have been in an actual coma, just asleep, because Andrew wakes up and oof, fucking blows this whole hospital room to smithereens.
He just blows it up. He blows it up.
And from there goes on an all-out assault on the city of, I almost said Chicago, but on the city of Seattle.
Yeah,
Like he's blowing parts of buildings away. He's blowing
yeah,
up cop cars. And the only
because
person who can stop him is Matt.
at that point, nothing in this world matters because his mom passed away. That was the one hit.
That
That
was
was
his
his anchor.
grounding. Yeah.
That was his anchor, and that's gone. So he definitely. This is full super villain birth right here. This is it. He has gone full
This is.
super villain.
I know I just mentioned the movie when I was talking about the guy who plays his father, but this is like Zod in Man of Steel. Like, just
Yep.
you are all going to pay. And I,
Yeah.
and I mean, there are even obviously not to the point of the fight in that movie, but there are even scenes of this where Andrew and Matt are fighting in the air and they're going through walls of buildings, and Andrew Andrew hits Matt in midair with a bus. That's that is wild.
Right. He hit him with a whole ass bus after thinking he had got through to him.
But again, because of the lack of exposition or even character building in terms of how much you're supposed to like or be behind Matt because he's going to try and right these wrongs and stop his cousin from what he's doing. I don't think it really pays off personally because you don't he's not in the movie enough like where they discuss just their relationship. It's just little spots here and there. But I will say I did like the look of how Matt ends up beating him.
Oh, with the fucking arrow.
I I mean, it was different because obviously Andrew is so focused on the 8 or 10 cop cars and the police whatever all facing him. He's not noticing what's behind him and Matt himself, and I don't know what the statue is, but the statue is holding a spear, and Matt basically uses his powers to put that spear right through Andrew's back, and it sinks into the ground, so it's just supporting him. So he's just standing there, slouched over.
Slunched? I like that. I'm gonna slunch.
It's 10:30 at night. Give me a break.
No, I like it. I like slunched. That was a good accidental word.
He was he all right. He's slunched over
There it is.
with
Yeah.
this spear going through him, supporting his weight, and I mean that's just the end of it. And again, there's no aftermath of, oh, this city did all this rebuilding, or this is what damage he caused, or you find out. I mean, I'm assuming his dad lived because when he went to drop him, Matt caught him out of the air. But you get no, oh, his dad went on to beat his drinking problem, or his dad went on and died, or like there's no follow up to it. It's just like, okay, the threats eliminated, movie's done.
Hmm.
It was a weird way to end it, I thought.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they were trying to write themselves, or maybe they thought they might have they would get a sequel if things went well.
But the problem is, to get a sequel, you would have to have Matt's character be more of the focal point of the first movie. Because if you kill Andrew, I mean, number one, if you kill Andrew, if you get to a sequel, Matt has nobody to go up against.
Is he dead though? Is he dead?
Yes.
Oh, I don't know. It's a superhero movie, man. Jones be coming back. You know what I'm saying? But no, he's probably dead though.
But you know what I mean, though? So, like, moving forward, Matt wouldn't have a villain to fight against. And they don't even give you, like,
No, but they could have, they could have took the sequel in a different direction.
yeah, they could have done something, but you don't even get, like, the typical guy, and then he could go find Casey or whoever, his girlfriend, and, like, get a shot of them, like, going off into the sunset type thing. Like, it's just, he's dead, fade to black, and then you get the last scene of Matt's tribute, I guess, to Andrew.
Yeah, he went to Tibet because that's where he wanted to go. That's where he wanted all of the him and the other guy, Michael
Steve.
B. They all wanted to go, or that's he wanted everyone to go there.
Yeah, he wanted them to go to Tibet, so Matt just goes there and plants his camera, I guess, in on a mountain facing this monk monastery or temple, and off screen just flies away and roll credits.
Mm-hmm.
I could be wrong by this, but aside from when they go to the house party and the rave or the party, whatever you want to call it, I don't think there's a moment of music or score in this entire movie.
Usually, found footage don't though. I don't think any found footage has a score. I think they're all kind of
I found that very
scores.
disorienting because I mean, you're so used to movies having that background
Hmm.
music or something going on.
Yeah, it didn't take me out of it, or I didn't really notice.
It didn't. I wouldn't say it took me out of it, but I definitely did notice, and I just kind of was. I thought that the same thing. Like, if you're filming it on your own personal handheld um, camera, you're not gonna have music accompanying what you're seeing,
Mm-mm.
unless the reason you're carrying around that camera is you're an aspiring filmmaker, which he clearly was not.
No.
So, I mean, that's pretty much all there is for this movie. I think we can probably move on to our final thoughts.
Yeah.
Unless there's something else you wanted to discuss, we can go into final thoughts and ratings.
Yeah. Um. No, I don't have anything. I don't think. No. No. Um. Yeah, I'll start.
Yeah, I just figured I didn't even say it, but because you were the one who suggested this one, I was going to let you have the first shot at it.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. For me, I really enjoyed this movie. Um. I like the found footage. genre, and when you mixed in with the whole superhero villain origin type story, um, it was something different that I appreciate them doing something different with that approach, especially with the superhero genre, with it almost being very formulaic in almost every single superhero movie. Um, I think the strength of this movie is the performances of the three main leads. Um, they all gave really good performances. Uh, One standout being Dane DeHaan. He definitely captured the tragic figure that gets bullied and decides to act out because he got some power, and you see the corruption of power in the hands of somebody like that. Um, I I would recommend this movie to people who are like really into superhero genre, or really they just want something that isn't too long and has some good performances, and some decent action, some thrilling scenes and whatnot. And definitely, I would recommend this if you are a fan of Michael B. Jordan, even though he's not in the movie for a whole lot of it. When he is in it, you do like him. Um, I would give this movie a 8 out of 10.
Wow, you're even higher than the IMDb. Okay, there are some things that you and I are going to disagree on with what you just said.
That's fine.
um, I don't particularly think, before I get into my overall view, I don't particularly think Michael B. Jordan was that great in this movie.
Mm,
And I don't think that's a knock on him. I just don't think he had enough to do in it. I think Michael B. Jordan is such a compelling actor that I think any time that he's put in a supporting type role, he's almost wasted.
okay.
I also don't think the guy who played Matt was very good. Now Dane DeHaan, he gave a great performance. But I will say that overall, I think the idea of the movie and the concept is really good and interesting, as I've said earlier. I just don't think that this particular film, the way they made it, represents it as well as they could have. As I've said throughout this whole episode, I did not like the handheld found footage. I didn't. Again, I don't think the actors had great chemistry with one another. Um, I think the two of them being cousins, I really didn't feel that. I think the best chemistry would have been Michael B. Jordan and Dane DeHaan, but even that wasn't great in my opinion. And again, I think it's the found footage thing, but the editing really drove me nuts, and it is the found footage problem because you'll see scenes where the camera literally cuts in the middle of somebody's sentence to go to something else, just like you would see in a home movie or something like that. And I wasn't a big fan of the way it did that. Um, I also kind of felt the movie dragged. Like the movie's an hour and a half. It felt long to me. Um, I personally can't give this a recommend. The only time I would say I would recommend you watch is if you like the found footage genre. Other than that, I can't recommend this movie. Um, my rating's on the lower end. This is going to be a 4 for me,
Mm.
and I highly doubt that I'll be.
You're in the minority. You're in the
I
minority. Boo!
I am, and that's okay. Um,
You just didn't get it.
You know what? You very well might be right. But yeah, I really don't see myself rewatching this movie in the future.
Mm.
Now, if I do and
Okay.
my opinion changes, you will be the first to know.
Right.
But with that, that is going to bring us to the end of our back to school month. And as everybody knows, we're right around the corner from October, and that means we will be starting our spooky series. And I have the first pick on this one. Now, I'm not going to go with a straight horror movie. I'm going to go with a classic movie that I watch every Halloween and have, well, Halloween season, I should say, and have for, well, pretty much as long as I can remember. This movie is an absolute classic in my opinion. I think in a lot of people's opinions. We're watching Ghostbusters.
Ooh. Perfect movie.
This movie is, as I said, it's a classic. I mean, Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, Harold
It's already
Ramis.
10 out of 10. I'm telling you right now.
You know what?
Already giving.
I will probably be
score.
doing the same thing. It's one of
This
my.
movie got no goddamn flaws.
It's
It's the
one.
perfect movie.
It's one of my favorites. I'm super
It
excited.
is my favorite movie. Like, no, well, I wouldn't say my favorite, but it's like Ghostbusters is the first franchise I liked as a kid.
Well, I feel kind of bad that I'm the one who picked it then.
No, that's fine.
But no, I'm super excited to watch this, and I'd be willing to bet Halloween is just over a month away. I'd be willing to bet this is probably only going to be the first of at least 2 to 3 times that this month that I will watch this movie leading up to Halloween.
Ghostbusters
Oh yeah,
for Halloween?
yep.
I never. I just watch. It's one of those movies
Oh, I'll watch it any time of the year.
I've never
But
thought of it as like a movie that you
But-
put on the roster.
typically, I'll watch like
Oh,
that.
really?
I'll watch Beetlejuice around Halloween, stuff like that.
Hmm. Okay.
So, with that being said, join us back here for our next episode when we watch Ghostbusters. And as always, give us a follow on our socials. I will put those in the show notes. We really appreciate it. Give us a like, a review. Let us know what you guys think. We really appreciate any feedback that you guys give us. So until next time, thanks everybody for listening. Thanks for subscribing, and take it easy.
Peace.